welcome back, guys. So, in last episode, we were nearly done with the plasma engine, but we found out that we had some desynchronization on the top blocks. Let's go to that. So, just a quick reminder: we have this lane that outputs too fast. And so I was wondering what was wrong in our calculation. So I'm going to tell you what was wrong and how we can quick fix it and what is the final solution to have it perfect. The quick fix is the one we're gonna use, so we don't have to redo the whole thing. But I will still discuss how we would do the good solution. So, you remember that we have 36 blocks extra here, basically on one full cycle. We said we have 36 blocks, and the problem that we have is that all the extra blocks we are giving them back to the 4 lane equally. So, at first it may look correct because like you're reinjecting 6 things like. You would say like, okay, we have some spare, we just give the spares to all the lanes and it's gonna be fine. But not really, because it would only be true if all of them had the same weight, and I'm gonna explain this later. What happens is this one is used full, this one is used full, this one is used full, and this one, you remember, we used 32 out of 68. So it's slightly less than 50%. So when we reinject one block here, we feel like that we are, how can I say, all of them are going to be get like the same quantity of extra blocks. But if we give one more block to this one, it's 2 times more important than if we give one block to these ones, because these ones are useful and this one are used at 50%. So the quick fix would be, since we're around 50%, the quick fix would be since we're around 50%, we would need to re-inject. How can I say? Like we would need to only give half of this and re-inject it to the other lanes to make it work. Now I'm gonna talk about mass so it's easier to understand. Let's turn on paint. Wow, okay, so first time I go, I hope it's gonna be okay. Let's see. It's not good enough. Let's take some brush. Should be some brush. Try to brush this one. Okay, that will do. So for the lanes, you remember we have 68, right. And we would have 68, but on this 68, we have 32 that are used, and 36 that are unused. Right? So in terms of total used in this combination, we would have 68 plus 68 plus 68 plus 32, which makes it, let me see, let me take my calculator, 68 times 3 plus 32, we are 236, right? So we have a useful block are 236, right? Okay, so in terms of weight in the whole system, this lane represents 68 out of 236, right? So it would be 68 divided by 236, so that's about 29%. This is the same for these ones. The 3 of them are gonna be this one. And then here we only have this 32 out of 236. So 32 divided by 236 will make it 13.5%. Alright, the total of 3 times basically 29 plus 13 would make it 100%. So if we want, when we re-inject this 36 here, we should re-inject 29% of this 36 on each of these lanes. So 29% is 0.29 multiplied by 36. It's going to be 10.44 blocks. So we would have 10.44 blocks on each of these lanes. And then we would have 13.5 135 basically multiplied by 36, 4.86 blocks. Blocks here. So if we take 3 times this one plus this one, we're gonna end up with 36. And the problem, as you can see, we would have each lane. Right now we are giving the equal amount to each lane. So we're giving 36 divided by 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9, right? 18, 9. So right now we're giving 9 to each of them, which means that this lane should have more, but they have actually less. And this one should have much less, and it's actually having also more. So what would be the quick fix? Okay, if we divide 9 by 2, okay, like if we re-inject the output, instead of giving 9 to this one, we re-inject them to the other lanes, okay, it's gonna be 4.5 approximately. I mean, it's exactly, but like we're going to re-inject 4.5 on each of them. I mean, we will have 4.5 that we will separate in 3 lanes, so it's about 1.5 back into each lane. So here we are at 9, the fat lane will be 9 plus 1.5 equals 10.5. Okay, and on this lane we end up using 4.5, right? We do this part. Alright, and if we do that, compared to the perfect solution, we close. We're going to be slightly too slow on this one, okay? Because we would want to be 4.86 and we'll be slightly faster on these ones, okay? For these two, it doesn't matter so much, but because these two are combined into 2, the difference between them is important. If we calculate the deviation on each cycle, so it's 0 on this one will be 0.06 basically. Let's see, or more. Let's take this one, the deviation of this one. We have 0.36, right? Missing block each cycle. Okay, so on 10 cycles, we're gonna have a difference of 3.6 blocks. If we consider the same, okay. This is gonna be, yeah, we were gonna have 4 blocks difference on this one. This is not going to impact us on the 10 cycles. If we do 100 cycles, then we will have 30% difference. Okay, and if you consider, for example, this one, you remember when we were in the error system. Well, we were re-injected 2 times more. I mean, too much, because we divide here by 2. We were injecting 2 times more blocks here. So after like the 4th cycle or something like this, we were starting to things were starting to break. All right. So because this one was being made, the 4th lane was being made, and that part of the wall was being made 2 times too fast. I mean, it was re-injected too much inside. Well, my point is, normally with this, with this 3.6 block extra, deviation over 10 cycles, we will pass. So the goal, the quick and dirty solution will be we will re-inject half of the blocks that are being reused for this one. So why is it quick? Why is it a good solution? Is because we're gonna pass the 10 iterations, and it's very fast in the current thing that we have. All right. So what is the good solution? Okay, now we're talking about the real. I'm going to erase that. Maybe I have some space here. We'll see. Otherwise, we erase. If you remember, each cycle we have 59, 59, 59, and we have 59. Why did we work with this? It's because we considered that all these blocks were being used. We only worked on that part, and this is why we got the hard calculations. But you will see that there is no very easy solution anyway. You see that there's its real number is not integers. So how would we solve that issue? Here we need to inject on one cycle. We need to inject 9 to make 68. It's true for here as well. We keep the same usage of the outputs because it's so convenient that we make it like this is the ceiling, this is the floor, and this is the two parts of the walls, and this is the extra part of the wall. Okay, and here is the same. To make it 68, we need to inject 9 blocks over 59. And then for this one, if you remember well, we're actually using 32. You see here. So 32 to it's gonna be perfect, of course. 32 to 59, it's gonna be 27, right? So here we have 27 available, of course, and this is 3 times 9. This is basically enough to cover the missing pieces of this one. All right. So if we want to make it perfect, we're gonna discuss the thing. If we want to make it perfect, the only thing we need to do is a lane that counts to 59. Okay. And then just give 9 to this one, 9 to this one, 9 to this one, and just keep the rest for making that piece, and you have it perfect. So the question now is, can we make it faster? Is there a way to make it faster? Okay. Why? Is because if we wait 59 pieces until we start splitting stuff, then the last piece of the wall, this area will only be built after one full cycle has been out. So it would be so much more convenient to actually be able to output these blocks early, right? So that things starts to build early and doesn't, you see what I mean? All right. So that's not gonna be very easy. This one is 3 times 9. Okay, and the remnant of this one is 32. Okay, and 32 is 6. It's 32 is to use for this one. 32. We're not talking about 36 anymore because it was in this scenario. So it's 16 plus 16. It's 8 times 4. And it's also, it's 2 times 8. And of course, 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. So it's like 2 to the power of 5, 32. Right? Okay. The only concern we have here is like, all of this is powers of 3. And all of this is power of 3, of 2. 2. This one is the 3 to the power of 3, and this is 2 to the power of 5. All of this is very hard to combine together. Okay. So how I don't think we couldn't try to find some fancy thing like trying to make 58 instead of 59 and then release the last block or something like this. Otherwise, how can we manage this part? Well, because it's 3x3, we could really just imagine it's easier to work in 2 dimension than 3 dimension. So we will use the 3 times 9, and we would probably have something like a container here. That would be 3 times 9. This would be 9 in width and 3 in height. And then after we're done here, it would overflow to another container. That would be something like, 4 times 8 is okay to me. So it would be a bit deeper here. We do this part so it would be slightly deeper. Here we would have 4 and here we would have 8. And then as soon as we detect a block here, it means that the cycle is finished. That's very powerful because it's also a way for us to know that the cycle is finished, but also we can use the time that one of the part gets out, especially not the reactor, but there is one of the piece that is being output only one time. So either we detect it here and then that block will overflow and we just inject it back for the next cycle. And then all of this is being pushed in the 3rd dimension out of the way. And all of this is going to fall into reinjection, so 3 lanes. We can, it would be maybe more powerful to actually have 9 times. Where's the eraser? It would probably be easier to have 9 times 3 to push vertically on the same belt. So here we would have 9 and here we would have 3. So we push in 3 different lanes, 9 each, and each of them is going to be recombined in the other lanes, right? So that's how we would make it perfect. I don't think that there could be some fancy way of making it earlier, but it's still complicated because the multiples here are so different. They don't have anything in common. That's why it's so complicated. Okay, so we're not going to implement this solution, but I think that this solution, we'll see. Maybe we can take a little time to implement it, but I don't think that we're gonna do it. We're just gonna stick to divide it by 2, and I'm only going to use this solution as a last resort if the deviation of 3.6 blocks. 3.6 blocks deviation here, but it's divided by the required 32. Out of 32 is about 12% deviation on the 10, and I don't believe that if that block gets out 12% faster over 10 cycle is going to impact the result. If maybe we have to just make sure that because this one goes out slower, that this out is slight, like at cycle 1, that this one the extra wall part is like in advance, slightly in advance on the other ones, to make sure that 12% is not gonna be too much. Alright, so let's just have a first try and see if we can get it work. Alright, let's get back to the game. So like I said, it's very easy. The dirty solution is very easy, because all we need to do is just re-inject it after the first separation. So here we had a pusher. We said that we re-inject half, right? So we just need a conduit here and a counter here, and each should be enough to fix our original mistake. Being re-injected. Ah, wait. Where's there's a little issue here. I'm going to add a block to make sure that it will wait. So while you're falling on the side. So at first you may think that this is very little change here, but remember that it's not only this one is in terms of re-injection, this one gets less blocks back, but also all these ones are actually building slightly faster. Let's see if the first thing, so you see, I'm afraid that we will have trouble because we're very close to, we're building the other one slightly too fast. Let's see. This one is going to be slower and slower, and this one's going to arrive faster and faster until at some point it drops first. And you see, maybe it's going to happen already a problem. Yeah, already a problem. So we need to find a way to delay this one. Okay. So let's see all that. How can we delay it? Should we delay it by one? No, not one. It's gonna go all the way there. Maybe we could consider less and less solution here. Consider like keeping this in and having something like this. Could this work? Let's see. So it's gonna go further and then come back. This one we need to replace. See if this can do the trick. So it's going all the way there. It's already being redirected. Ah. Well, otherwise, how about we try something like this? We put a block here so it cannot return so easily. I don't know if the space is blocked or only the construction area. Sounds like not bad. The other one's taking so much time to be built now. We had 4 already. No, only the 2. Okay. But you can see that the deviation is much better than before. But I think we're gonna have a problem next time. Much better. At least now we can reach, unless we have other you see, we said, we are 10% too slow over 10 cycles. So we may consider wasting more time, even more time. Still passes. Okay. 3 more pieces. Let's go. Okay, that was a close call. 2 more pieces. If it's not enough, we will find a way to waste more time on this side. But it appears that the calculation were correct. Let's see. One last, come on. Slightly more. It's gonna be short goal. Okay, passes. Just in time. So like I said, the 10% deviation we're fine. Okay, we're in the average. I mean, I usually use more blocks because I don't care for optimizing blocks. But yeah, so that is the I explained just earlier. And this showed you that I was correct in the quick fix. But if we continued for a few more cycles, we would have like 10 more cycles would be 20% deviation, and at that time it would start to be more complicated. And I think on 100 cycle it would be, 50 cycle, even we synchronize everything. After that, we could have played a bit with blocking and waiting for the next one to arrive. So we could have pushed it maybe to 60, 70, 80 elements, given the deviation. But not beyond that. And the perfect solution was the one I explained on Paint just earlier. Alright, that's the end of this puzzle. Thanks for watching the second part that fixes the first part, and see you in the next episode for a new mission briefing.